Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another Nacho Tuesday. And today I have Badar here with Vectara AI. And without further ado, we would love if you could introduce yourself and share with us your journey that led you to Gen AI.
Of course. Hi, everybody. Thank you for taking the time and joining us on this webinar. So Badr Hamdan, I am based in Chicago. And currently I serve as the ecosystem chief at Vectara. I'm responsible for our global charter for partnerships and joint ventures. Yeah, my journey to Gen AI has been interesting. I mean, obviously it's the hot space, so not a bad thing to kind of be part of. But my journey overall has been focused on partnerships and go to market and how to really accelerate kind of growth and scale via the partnership world in a holistic go to market approach. And what attracted me to Vectara, I knew the co-founder from before, and we worked together at Google. And when Vectara went out of stealth mode at the end of 2022, I saw that it says platform, a generative AI platform. And, one of the first things I thought about is, look, this is a huge opportunity from a partnership perspective, how to build an ecosystem around that. And I, mentor startups on the side as well. And, I reached out to my friend and I'm like, I hope you guys are thinking about partnerships, and we got to talking over some time period and eventually landed here. So that's what led me to Vectara specifically. So yeah, look, I mean, for me, again, I stumbled into this in a sense, I mean, somewhat intentional. I definitely was interested in the Gen AI space, interested in, more importantly, like what's the power of the platform and the ecosystem coming together to capitalize on that market opportunity. And it's exactly what attracted me here, right? Beyond getting to know, obviously the CEO who I knew before, but also the other co-founders and then the rest of the leadership team. It just felt like a good opportunity to join Vectara. So what we are, Vectara, in a quick nutshell, look, our solution is we're the trusted Gen AI for enterprise applications, and what we deliver as a product is a serverless retrieval augmented generation platform as a service. Our mission is to help the world find meaning. The word Vectara actually comes from is derived from the word vectors. In the Gen AI, in the AI world, it's all about finding meanings between correlating words, human language to computer language, and that's the intent or that's the meaning behind our mission, is that we help the world find meaning, and that's the pun intended with the name Vectara. So what we are ultimately is a Gen AI as a service ultimately, and we say trusted because of two key things, right? It's about, for us, solving for hallucinations. The last thing you want is your AI engine to make up stuff for you, right? And we've seen some stories and issues and challenges in the industry the past year as Gen AI became a thing. How do you overcome that? So hallucinations, solving for IP infringement and copyright, all due to the fact that we ground everything that we generate based on your data without having to train on your data. So we created a zero-shot retrieval engine at the end of the day. That helps ease of use as well as provide you generative outcomes in a trusted manner.
Very nice. Yeah, it looks like you have a fan in the comments section. Actually, I mean, one of your customers.
Oh, nice, awesome.
There you go. And yeah, so I guess many companies are still hesitant about AI. What would you say to those companies?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's so much noise happening right now in AI. I think the first thing I would say is be very, very, very intentional and deliberate about what outcomes you're looking to achieve. Start with the why, right? There's a book that was written about it as well. Start with the why. Always start with the why. And without having that clarity up front and being intentional about what am I trying to achieve, both internally from a productivity perspective, maybe I have an internal use case that I'm trying to do with AI, and or externally about how do I enhance, the experience with my customers, with my clients, with my partners. You got to have that North Star in mind. And, also in parallel, understand what your product strategy is going to be or what your solution strategy is going to be. You froze up on me there, Andy. Can you hear me?
Yep, I could hear you just fine.
So, what does your build by partner strategy look like? Right? It's very important to kind of take a step back and say, look, the point of any and all technology at the end of the day, we just happen to be talking about Gen AI, is that it's there to help accelerate your efforts. It's there to help do something specifically for you. And if you're having this, if you're looking at this from a build by partner strategy standpoint, and your products, from a product approach, you can now get much more intentional about how I leverage GenAI to achieve specific outcomes. So,
Yep.
I would urge companies to just think about that, and then look at also, and most importantly, is how do I accelerate that time to market? What is that total cost of ownership of adopting a technology is to eventually realize that value that I'm trying to achieve or attain? So in a nutshell, just be very, very intentional about what you're trying to do, because it is pretty noisy out there in the AI world. And, you want to make sure you're doing this for the right reasons and adopting the right technologies for the right reasons to deliver those outcomes at the end of the day.
Yeah, I love how you simplified it with the concept of why, right? So anything successful that I've ever seen has a good, North Star. They know why they're doing it at the end of the day, and why you're doing it is to really help your customer, right? So it's a better experience. It's creating more value for them at the end of the day. So just because maybe the CEO might just point at something and say we need AI,
Yeah.
okay, well, why do we need AI? Is it actually going to help our customers? Is it going to help improve our internal processes? And then you could look at the trade-off between building or maybe leveraging a third-party platform that might be able to bring you AI tools into your organization without deploying the resources yourself to do so. So
Right.
all that needs to be thought of well in advance before you just straight up just go down the road of AI.
Yeah, and look, I mean, AI is not new. I mean, the new thing in this is like generative AI, which is actually creating net new content because of what was interpreted, analyzed, etc. AI has been out here for we've had AI for many, many, many years.
Yeah.
So the transformation that happened recently is the use of language models, and
Yeah.
how do I apply a language model to generate new content for me, to create new things for me based on whatever it is that I'm imagining or the query that I'm asking it.
Yeah.
So it's not like this is a net new thing. It's about now how do we leverage this technology and all technologies, but how do you leverage this technology to really accelerate your product development cycles or enhance your customer experience or increase your productivity or your employees' productivity. So it's
Mhm.
all about the use case at the end of the day.
Yep. And so you mentioned kind of a misconception about AI there, that it's actually been around for a while, but it's just a lot more ubiquitous now. What's another common misconception you would say people have about AI?
Yeah. I think a lot of people talk about, oh, this is just another hype cycle.
Oh, definitely
Um,
not.
Definitely not. Definitely not. I mean, look, every technology has its hype, right? And
Mhm.
there's, we all know about the height, the curve, right? And it's all about how do you make sense of it and how do you adopt it and how do you scale it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But it's not a hype. Gen AI is not a hype. It's here to stay. I mean, we see the reality of how companies and customers and partners are leveraging this technology to deliver the outcomes that we just talked about. I would say another misconception is, probably the fear factor around AI or Gen AI, like, oh man, it's going to take over the world. This concept of AGI, artificial generated intelligence, like the robots are going to take over, right?
Yeah.
Computers get, all the sci-fi movies that we've seen. And, as intelligent as an AI system can get,
Yeah.
it's still programmed by a human being, right? And sure, it's going to learn, and that's the whole point of machine learning and all of that. But the intuition of a human being, that intelligence that a human being
Mhm.
has, like you can't easily replicate that.
Yeah.
So, you can't teach a computer through code how to have intuition.
And strategic thinking too, right? So it's very easy to write a prompt, and AI can kind of do its thing to identify the problem, kind of work through it, maybe scrape the internet and kind of figure out a solution based on what it's reading out there. But the strategic level to like even ask the correct prompt in the first place is something innately human.
Of course, yeah. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it does get smarter and smarter as the time progresses here. But
Mhm.
um, like you can prompt in, there's, methodologies around prompt engineering and you can get creative, but it's all at the end of the day, this like this human element, right? And I think
Mhm.
that's something that we all collectively as an industry need to continue to maintain and
Yeah.
focus on is how do we ensure that we don't allow ourselves not to that the technology is going to take over from an AGI perspective, but not to
Mhm.
allow ourselves rely on the intuition that we have that we've been created with, right? The human connection, like we can't lose sight of these things that are just fundamental to what makes us humans in the first place. And
Mhm.
while we love technology, we love using technology to do, to enhance our productivity and do what we need to do with it, we can't lose sight of this human element.
Yeah.
But yeah, like look, there are fears out there about losing jobs. And we had this back when I was at, for example, at Cisco. Like, we would always talk about the voice engineer when voice over IP was the new thing, right? And we were talking about, there was a lot of resistance from the traditional voice engineers. And it's like, no, that skill set needs to be now modified, tweaked, enhanced to go and apply to this new technology that we now have called voice over IP. But that skill set is still very important. How you route calls, how you do all these different things from a call perspective. Same thing applies here as well, right? How do you now capitalize on this new technology as an individual, as a team, as an organization, as an industry, right? To leverage the power that is availed to us from this GenAI world and this GenAI transformation, leverage it for the benefit of humanity, benefit of our team, benefit of ourselves. So it's the onus is on us, right? Be it individuals as well as leaders to kind of up-level our skills, learn about the technology, know how it applies to our field, and how is it going to evolve our field as well? So, just to stay ahead of the curve at the end of the day, from a technology perspective, you want to better yourself through technology and use it as a tool, not as a means to an end at the end of the day.
Definitely. So do you see any other implications for the workforce going over in the next 5 years, or do you really see it as kind of similar, history repeats itself, so to speak, where, just like other technologies have come in the past, it doesn't necessarily replace all the jobs. It just changes the job position a little bit. Like people just accommodate to the technology and it creates new opportunities and positions even.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's going to be, certain use. It's all about the use case. It's all about the environment that we're talking about, or the specific task or job function that we're talking about, right? Do you need somebody to go and crunch numbers for you left and right every day? Or can you get AI to help you do that, or at least accelerate that effort? Yeah, the latter, right? Now, the opportunity is, how does that business analyst or financial analyst actually go and exercise or leverage and utilize that technology to apply that so they can actually go focus on, something more advanced? I'll give you an example. Today, Vectara, we work with a startup called Sonosim that is focused on the ultrasound. They focus on ultrasound, enablement and empowerment for the ultrasound technicians. Now a not advanced ultrasound technician can leverage the power of language models and being able to have, this GenAI functionality that was, we power, that capability within Sonosim to be able to say, based on the data set that they've provided it is, hey, we know that this human being, for example, is this tall, the position of their liver is here, and like what knobs do you turn on the ultrasound machine, and where do you position the ultrasound scanner, right? Now you take a normal regular ultrasound technician to become an advanced technician, again enhancing the capabilities of that individual, of that technician via the technology, not the other way around, because you still need somebody to go do that. And even if you had, we've seen the movies where the robots take over and, the robo-medicine and all of that, like there's still that intuition that you just can't replace at the end of the day. So I would say, look, it's all about that enhancing the skill set to increase the productivity. But then I would also put the onus on the leadership, right? I think it's our roles as leaders to empower our teams, empower our circles, our communities, our companies, our partnerships to take advantage of this technology transformation in a way that makes sense to achieve those specific outcomes. So again, it's all about leveraging the technology for the benefit of humanity versus the other way around. I think the onus is on us as individuals and as leaders to make that happen. Like this is a specific, like a really good example. Like as much as we've had video streaming for, it's not a new technology, like there's still issues and challenges, right? So, what if you leverage the power of AI to kind of enhance, and prioritize the streaming of my stream and your stream, and just to make sure these issues don't happen. Like that's the power of technology coming together at the end of the day.
Yeah, and maybe you could auto detect if your feed or your audio goes, and then it switches to an alternate source, something like that.
Yeah, or maybe in the world of AI or Gen AI, now my own avatar starts to speak, right? And I'm not even here.
So, and then I come back and I'm like, wait, what did he say? Actually,
yeah, exactly.
Everybody's like mad at me or something. But so you use the word enhance instead of replace, which I really like, right? So it's really going to enhance people's roles, so it could elevate them. So it could take a regular employee, gives them the data and the tool sets they need to, do their job with higher productivity, as opposed to just replacing the employee. So, I like that enhance versus replace strategy that you're mentioning there. For any of the business leaders out there, leverage AI in a way to where you can enhance your employees. Don't necessarily think about it as a way to, replace jobs. It's more about the enhancement there. But I guess, how can a business go about successfully implementing AI without becoming just another tool they sign up for and actually never use?
Yeah, I mean, look, again, like I was just saying, the landscape is inundated right now with options, right? And I think it's important to kind of take, again, a step back and say, what's my North Star? What am I trying to achieve? What is the use case that I'm trying to enable with AI? And go and focus on it that way to hone in on the technology that you want to enable. If your use case is marketing or use case is sales, there are different applications that are already powered by AI or have some AI capability embedded into it that you maybe want to capitalize on. So for example, a Conversica who powers their chatbot, their SD, virtual SDR ultimately, and by Vectara, do I go and build my own virtual chatbot, for the SDR use case and the sales use case, and to drive that, kind of lead qualification process, or do I just go buy something that already exists and focus on my core competency at the end of the day, which is, whatever that company's core competency is or value prop to the market. I think there's going to be a lot of things. We're already seeing a lot of tool sets around creative, right? The creativity angle. Hope you froze on me again. I'm not sure if you guys can hear me on the
I can hear you. Yep. Go ahead.
So the creativity element, right? Being able to generate new pictures and new videos, and literally go and tell it, hey, I want you. Maybe we took a picture, for example, and we kind of use this example sometimes, right? Being able to, go in, you're at the beach and you have, this beautiful sunset, and you take a picture, and for some reason your kid didn't show up in that picture, right? Now you can easily go and tell the AI to go and add your son or daughter into that picture, where in the past it would have taken forever and really, really advanced skill set to go and achieve something like that. Now you can just tell the engine, like the AI engine, hey, I want to be able to do this, and it'll just do it for you in a very natural way. And I think that's the opportunity. Again, back to what tool sets, it's so many to come and try to hone in and describe on. I would say, look at it from a use case. What are you trying to achieve? And then evaluating the build by partner strategy element of it is important, right? Do you need to go build this solution yourself, or do you just go and buy it and continue to focus on your own productivity and value proposition to the market?
Great point. So I guess, what's one thing you want potential customers and partners to know about Vectara and why they should choose your platform?
Yeah. So look, I think the biggest thing I would look at is we're an enabler of generative outcomes. We're an enabler. We power enterprise applications to have the GenAI functionality. So think of us as GenAI as a service. We leverage a zero-shot retrieval, augmented generation, capability where we don't have to train on your data to give you relevant results. And with what's happening today in the market, everybody is in this phase of trying to figure out what to do with GenAI, trying to kind of, they're prototyping, they're testing out what, let me go get a language model, let me train it on my data. I think this was going to give me the best results. Let me fine tune that language model. But the reality is there's a cost of ownership. There's a total cost of ownership equation that we need to all be cognizant of, because doing that is great. There's a perception that this is going to give me the best results, right? Doing the fine tuning, and sure, you'll get incrementally better results, but it's, again, back to the total cost of ownership equation. And what we've seen is that we've been able to lower the TCO by 8x, wow. 8x, because of this retrieval augmented generation serverless platform that we built. That has been, engineered and architected. I mean, we pioneered, what we call now in the industry RAG. That was pioneered 4 years ago before it even had a term. That's what our founders set out to create when they left Google. Is this, retrieval engine and retrieval platform, an end-to-end way to embed ultimately GenAI functionality in. So I would say, look at it from a total cost of ownership. And as you're going through this maturity, and as GenAI continues to mature, right? In every transformation that we've had, the dust somewhat settles once we kind of, go over the hump of that curve, and it's, we've seen where consuming a service is the ultimatum, or is the ultimate end result at the end of the day. You look at, for example, McKinsey put out a report about the economical value of generative Gen AI, and it's estimated that it would be trillions of dollars worth of economic potential, in driving productivity, various use cases in sales and marketing, and customer experience and engineering. But they also highlight that value actually nearly doubles when embedding Gen AI into other solution stacks. So we're in that phase of the world or in this technology curve and adoption, where it's about enhancing the capabilities that I have, and the comparison of do it yourself versus buying something to go and embed that functionality in is going to be very important. And what powers at the end of the day the market economy, and the point of having a platform ecosystem at the end of the day.
And you guys kind of have a platform, I guess, if you will, your startups partnership program. Could you tell us more about that and how you're helping companies accelerate their time to market?
Yeah, when we designed and launched the ecosystem partner program a few months ago, the whole point was to really create this unique, multifaceted partner program that delivers on the promise of customer value co-creation with the ecosystem. That was the whole point. Vectara, we're not a verticalized application. Like, we're not an application, we're a platform at the end of the day. And we're not going to ever be in a position to go and build verticalized solutions. So the opportunity here is to, as part of the launch, what we wanted to do is, startups played a critical role for us in the ecosystem strategy, because we want to empower these startups to build and be powered by Vectara. Again, now we have capabilities that are being created, that we're co-creating together for the market, that have, an edge use case for sales or marketing or healthcare or finance. And we're seeing a lot of traction with the startup partners already, that have adopted and embraced this startup partnership program. What it ultimately delivers for startups is a couple different things. One is, we have two business models. One is a freemium. You go in, anybody and everybody can go sign up. And please, I encourage everybody to take a minute and sign up for the Vectara platform, right? Vectara.com. You can go sign up for free, and you get some capacity every month that you can kind of leverage. But to get the full power of Vectara, as well as augment their development costs with some startup credits and discounts, as well as a success, like a milestone-based success journey, to ensure that we're going to collect, together be successful in empowering this solution that they're looking to build out. So, Vectara.com/startups, learn more there. The site does need to be updated with some requirements right now, but the requirements are pretty simple. Any and all startups that are looking to infuse GenAI functionality into their MVP or solution are encouraged to apply. If you have any doubts about the requirements, please just apply, and we'll have conversations offline. But the whole point is to empower the startup ecosystem and community to build this, their solutions powered by Vectara generative AI, the Vectara trusted GenAI platform, and also to mobilize the VC and accelerator and incubator community to extend the full power of Vectara to their startup communities as well. So that's the point of the startup program. Again, I encourage everyone to check it out and apply. Look forward to. And if you're, when you do apply in the referral, please do put NachoNacho as the referred partner. And we've already seen some great initial success as we've launched our solution together.
Great. Well, Badar, very much looking forward to continuing to work with you guys. Once again, everybody, we apologize for the technical issues today. I think there's going to be a lot of great clips out of this. Badar's made a lot of great points. So we'll take a lot of key points out of this, and we'll turn these into a nice little social media sound clips, and we'll share those over the next coming months. But we do highly recommend you check out their platform. You could sign up, like you mentioned, at Vectara.com/startups. You could also check it out and NachoNacho's B2B SaaS marketplace. We are a great partner with Vectara, and we look forward to continuing to work with you guys. Badar, once again, thank you so much for coming on today, and we look forward to the future together.
Likewise. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and thank you, Andy, for having me.
Thank you.